We have gathered here in this impressive rotunda to tell you about this project and why it's important to our university, the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and the good old US of A. We are privileged here to have a great Board of Regents, and I know that each member is dedicated to the best interest of our institution. Please allow me to present Chair Sylvia Lovely and her fellow regents. Would you stand to be recognized, please? I would also like to present my immediate predecessor, Dr. Ronald G. Eaglin, and his wife, Bonnie, their son, Jeff, and two granddaughters here in the front row. Would you stand, please? They made it up from South Carolina because they thought this was a pretty big day and a pretty important event, and we thank you for coming. To his lasting credit and to the university's benefit, Dr. Eaglin recognized the potential of what Dr. Ben Malfris and his college dean, Dr. Gerald DeMoss, believed could happen in these hills, far removed from NASA operations in Florida, Texas, and California. A reporter wrote at the time that Dr. Eaglin had shown that the sky was no longer the limit for Morehead State University. Today is further evidence of that fact, and we thank you, Dr. Eaglin. I also want to recognize our County Judge Executive, Jim Nickel, and our Mayor, Mr. David Perkins. Would you stand, please? We don't have time to recognize and introduce everyone who helped make this project a success, but please know that we are grateful for your support and your encouragement. We are going to move directly into our program, and I'll present our speakers and other guests in the order that's printed in the program. At this point, I would like to invite our board chair, Ms. Sylvia Lovely, to come to the podium and introduce our very special guest. Sylvia? Thank you very much, Governor, for being with us today and for the wonderful news about our equipment grant. As you look at the facilities today, you'll notice that we are without some equipment, and Matt Sawyer from the governor's office called and apologized yesterday. He said, I wish we could have got you that money sooner. I said, Matt, a $750,000 gift, we'll take it today. So thank you very much, Governor. We are just grateful. That brings the total investment in this building to $16.5 million. It's a wonderful investment on behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and we very much appreciate it. I mentioned Matt Sawyer. I want to also recognize Peggy Satterley. Both of these individuals work for the Department of Local Government, and they were a great help for us in applying for that grant, which the governor approved, and we're grateful for their efforts on our behalf. I would be remiss, Governor, if we did not express our heartfelt gratitude to you for your courageous decision to exempt higher education and education generally from the budget cuts that we were anticipating next year. The governor invited the presidents of the universities to be with him last week, and to be honest, we all went to that luncheon with a little bit of dread, because we knew what he was facing and what the Commonwealth is facing. And I think it's very courageous of him to articulate priorities that will move the Commonwealth forward. And he knows that public education, higher education, economic development, mental health, our criminal justice system, and economic development are indeed the right priorities. And so we thank you very much for being our champion. Thank you. We are very pleased to have legislative friends with us here today, especially those that are alumni of Morehead State University. We're blessed this year to have 10 Morehead State alums in the General Assembly, 3 of whom are with us today. We count on them for their voices and also their votes, and they do, in fact, do that for your university, for our university. They've been very, very strong advocates of Morehead State University. We also want to thank an alumni legislator who was unable to be with us today because of commitments in Frankfurt with hearings, and that's Senator Charlie Borders. Charlie is the chair of the Senate Appropriations and Revenue Committee and a very good friend and an alum of Morehead State University. Let's recognize Charlie in absentia. Here today to share their thoughts on this day are in order Senator Walter Blevins, House Majority Floor Leader Rocky Adkins, and House Majority Whip John Will Stacy. These men share a common bond. They love and appreciate Morehead State University, and they are committed to our success. Our first speaker from the General Assembly is one of its senior-most members, a man with experience in both chambers. May I introduce to you Senator Walter Blevins. Thank you very much, Walter. I don't know where to begin to tell you about how much we depend on the House Majority Floor Leader, the person who is this campus in his district, but more importantly, in his heart. He's a frequent visitor to the campus and is quick to tell others about his love of his alma mater. Please greet with me Representative Rocky Atkins.